Shouldn't call ourselves landlords because that sounds a bit feudal. We should say we're housing providers because that.
Yeah, no, you could call yourselves that, or you could just call yourselves leeches or parasites, because that's what you are. You're not housing providers, you just exploit people for your own gain. It's basically the definition of a parasite.
First of all, Bud, I think you need to look up the definition of what a parasite is, and you're probably more fitting than a landlord is to that description. Now, I was tagged in this video, but I couldn't reply because I wasn't allowed to stitch it. No surprise that the guy makes a comment like this and doesn't allow people to respond. But I've managed to put it together anyway. And the fact is, these idiots, these complete muppets, think that landlords are some enemy, some sort of negative on society. Let's be very clear now. Without private landlords, there would be much more homelessness in the UK. There would be many families living in unfit homes and homes that don't have enough rooms. If it wasn't for private landlords, there would be an even bigger housing crisis. And to use the terminology that you've done to target people who make a profit just goes to show that your socialist attitude doesn't recognise that when someone has to take a risk to buy a property and has to go to the expenditure to make it habitable and comply with all of the rules and regulations and then oversee that that tenant and the ongoing maintenance issues are safe and happy and have a nice, warm, functioning house, there isn't a huge amount of profit at the end of it. It is only when you start to scale up and you start to have dozens of properties that the cumulative profit and cash flow starts to make an impact on your life. So many landlords actually do this in their spare time on top of their full-time job or career. Now, a full-time job or career where they pay probably large amounts of tax and then they are taxed on gross turnover on their rental income if they own the property in their own personal name, not on profit, means that the expenditure that they have isn't completely deductible from the money that they receive. Yet these people are leeches, these people who still take this risk and have to go through years of pain and sacrifice in order to build a portfolio, to build some form of retirement fund, because let's face it, the state pension and the government really can't look after the people who build the country and pay the taxes. They have to look after the idiots like you who don't pay taxes and claim off of the system and the benefits for their whole lives. So let's just fast forward in the future, 50 years in the future. Let's say that every landlord agreed with you and they sold up and there was no private landlords. And in fact, every entrepreneur and business owner took the same attitude as a socialist. Where would we be? We would be in a completely failed society, probably civil war, because there's no money to pay for anything that the socialists want.